Hey guys, and welcome to another ranked team game audio commentary. This audio commentary will be a Nomad 3 versus 3 that I played last night with my friends. We had quite a long gaming session on the Friday night, and this was the last match of the evening, so it was quite late in the evening. And we were just coming off the back of a Nomad 4 versus 4 loss. One of our players ended up leaving, and then we queued up again, and we got this 3 versus 3. So in this game, I'm playing as the Orange Incas, and we also have Soggy Socks, aka Croker, playing as the Yellow Byzantines, and Matt as the Red Vietnamese. The other team also has a Vietnamese player, and they have a green Spanish and a teal Lithuanians. Now, the player that is playing Lithuanians, 136-969-26265, I know that player. What I mean is I've played against him several times before. I think mostly last year, and he's a Chinese player, and I don't have a good win rating against him. He has beaten our group several times on, I think, arena and open land maps. Usually plays pocket cavalry civs, but we did beat him in one game on Nomad. So going into this, yeah, I recognise that player's name. The green Spanish player is also the highest rated ELO in this game at 1378. So our starting team, a bit of background going into this game. So one of the things that I've been testing out just in my muck around sort of against the AI is a Inca Eagle Rush in Castle Age. So you go fast castle and then multiple barracks into Eagle Spam. And I'd gotten that inspiration from watching things like the Clash of Empires, and I guess to some degree T90 Titans League as well, but mostly Clash of Empires, where people were just flooding eagles on open maps in Castle Age. And I think actually the TCI tournament, where I saw a few games like that as well, so the Champions Invitational, but mostly the 9 Villager Start sort of tournaments. People are doing it with like Aztecs, Incas, Mayans. But I really like the Incas version of it because on Nomad their economy is just so smooth at the start, and then their Eagles are the cheapest in Castle Age as well, costing only 68 resources. So I'd practiced what I was attempting to do in this game before, and because we also have another player that really likes Incas in the group, so I think since Incas got a buff, I was the first player to sort of pick up on him. I played a few games, and then I suggested a couple of the other guys to give him a go. And so in some of the recent replays, Classic Matters has mostly been playing. He's actually played exclusively Incas for quite a while on Nomad, so it's meant that I haven't had the opportunity to do this strategy, but he wasn't playing tonight, so that gave me the opportunity to give it a try. And so the map has a bit of an interesting generation here, which I think I've seen a few times in 3 versus 3, where it's got this little crossing. And then our starting... So Croker's got 2 villages that are spawned quite close together, so he's going to get a TC spot up pretty quickly over here. Mats are really far away from each other. That's probably one of the worst locations you could get. Mine aren't so bad. They're also pretty... Like, I could have TC'd over here, but I've actually opted to go this way. So I'm gonna unpause the replay, and we're going to get going. So, yep, I've selected my villages, starting to look for a TC spot. I've seen a wood line there, and I pretty much spawned next to this shorefish over here, so I'm going to dock there, and then I found a TC spot right next to some berries on the very first wood line that I spawned next to with one of my villages. So I'm sending my other villager across the map, and just looking to see where the other guys have gone. Now, they've gone quite close together. I'm just going to take the view lock off for a second. So we actually have like a C-shaped TC sort of position, with Matt kind of being boxed in between me and Croker. And there's like that sort of crossing between us. So I guess we've got quite a defensible position, with me and Croker sort of being on the flanks and Matt being in the pocket. And the other team, green, is closest to me, so that's the Spanish player. And then we've got blue and teal in the southwest corner of the map. So because we've got Vietnamese and the other team's got Vietnamese, we are all going to know where our starting TC locations are once they go up. So one of Matt's sheep is scouted that I've got a close boar, and I've also picked up a couple of sheep because my villagers have had to walk so far up across the map. Well, one of the villagers has to get to the TC, and getting some like more than one sheep at the start is actually super helpful because it helps you find your food resources on the map so much faster than if you only get one herdable or you don't get any. And also because I'm Incas, everyone gets an extra llama, which helps. Yes, the 100 food is helpful, but it's more helpful because of the scouting information that you can get with the llama. So I'm doing the build where my TC villager builds a house first and the dock villager goes straight to shortfish rather than building a house. And I have been testing out the difference between the two builds, and I've found that I played a few games with the dock villager building the house, and I've switched back to the TC villager doing it because I find that if you get the dock villager to build the house, your food income kind of cuts off at around this point, and you can only really queue up a few villages, and then you have to get loom unless you've got like food right under your TC. Whereas if you build the house with a TC villager, the shorefish villager can start working much quicker, and then it just gives you more time to get some food under the TC. And I find that a lot of the time it means I can delay loom until very late in Dark Age, or sometimes I don't even have to get it in Dark Age. So I've started much preferring doing the house with the TC villager now that I've been testing out both ways of doing it on Nomad, and I've done it enough times to figure out what the difference is. It also means that, you know, your dock has less chance of being sheep scouted. So here I've got a close boar, and I've been able to get pretty much the perfect start. And because I'm Incas, the houses are giving me 10 population, which means that I don't have to spend as much wood on houses and I can spend more wood on fishing ships. It also means that because the villagers don't have to build as many houses, it means you get more working time put back into gathering resources as well. So it's something that makes Nomad starts with Incas just so smooth. I really, really like this about playing Incas on Nomad, is you can get an excellent start. So I'm just going to take a quick pause and have a look at the population at the moment. So I'm going to pause the game. And we're just going to have a look at the pop. So as you can see, I'm already on 13 pop, and I've got a 2 pop lead over the next player, which is the Lithuanians player. And Lithuanians get plus 100 food at the start, which is probably the next best out of the civilizations here as far as Nomad starts go. Whereas none of the other civs here have any eco bonuses for the start. I mean, you know, Spanish, they get a little bit of gold but now, and their buildings do build faster, so you do get a bit of villager work time that can be put back into gathering. But yeah, Incas and Lithuanians get a bonus to get off to a nice start with fishing ships. So you can see the Lithuanian player's got 2 fishing ships out. I've got 2 out, and I'm going to be building a 3rd one soon. But I think the main difference here is probably idle TC. So if we check here, so he's had to get loom because he hasn't bought in his boar yet. So that's probably, and then the rest might be when the TC has gone up. So that's something just to sort of prove that the build that I've been doing where the TC villager builds the house, it just makes the start quite smooth. There are some civs, like I think Mayans is definitely one where you want the dock villager to build the house because they start with extra villagers. But then there's probably maybe a couple of other cases as well. But yeah, I think I'm really liking the house with the TC villager approach that I've been taking. And yeah, everyone else, mostly 10 population, with the Lithuanians with the slight bonus being on 11. So now I'll go back to my view lock. So so I've got an extra villager on food under the TC here. So 4's enough to keep the TC running with the shorefish villager, but I've got an extra one. So, but because I'm Incas and I'm not having to build as many houses, I think that's fine because I'm gonna still be able to get the fishing ships out. So queuing up the 3rd fishing ship here, and then I've built 2 houses, which has given me a total of 20 population from houses. I've got plenty of herdables, so I've got a lot of scouting information on the map. And at this point of time in the game, just as I'm going to take this hunt here, so ideally I want to have an extra boar. So if I'll just look around, I've pulled in 1 boar. There's a boar up here that my llama can see. That's probably a bit far. And then there is another boar over here, but I can't see that at the moment. So, and there's one there as well, which I think so I can see that one. So I'm going to be pulling this one in. with a villager soon. But yeah, if you can get multiple boars under the TC at the start, that's really beneficial. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the strategy here at the moment. So my closest opponent is the Spanish player, and he's over here. Now, in my experience when playing Meso against Spanish, is that conquistadors can be a problem because you don't really have a good answer to those. Apart from going skirmishes, I guess the other answer is monks. So I'd been noticing when Matters had been playing Incas and he'd run up to a closely starting Spanish player, that he'd been getting into a lot of trouble because Matters is not the quickest at getting to Castle Age. So a lot of the time, you know, he'd been relying on Eagle. He thought that Eagle Warriors were good against Conquistadors until we told him otherwise recently. So I'd noticed that Spanish had kind of been countering him when he'd been playing Incas. And I was aware of the fact that Spanish could be a problem because I played a game probably about a year ago, maybe even more, where I was Aztecs and I did an Eagle play in early Castle Age. It went well until the Spanish player got out Knights and Conquistadors, and then I ran into a lot of trouble. Like my base got overrun. I think I also got doubled, but I remember that game distinctly, and I remember some of the mistakes that I made in that game that led me to going from in a winning position against that player to a losing position. So with that experience in mind, I had a bit of an idea about how I would do things differently this time, because it had been a long time since I'd played a Meso Civ and gone up against a Spanish player. So I've had pretty much no idle TC. I haven't had to get Loom yet, so I've had a really, really efficient economy. And as you can see, I've got still a two population lead over up to about 3 now over the Spanish player, who's actually overtaken the Vietnamese player. I'm just going to go back to my view log. So now I'm going to be pulling in the boar with one of the wood villages. I've got the minimum of 6 on wood for constant house and fishing ship creation. That also means that if you do that build with Incas, because you have to build less houses, you can sort of squeeze out a few more fishing ships. Because you're not having to make the houses quite as frequently. I still do think I end up getting housed a little bit early on in this game. So just pulling in that boar, not the best boar lure. And I was also taking a little bit of sheep food under there, under the TC to keep myself going, just so that I had a bit of food income. So now I've got 5 fishing ships. I'm going to be building a house in my dock village, and I'm going to be probably redocking as well to get some more efficient fishing. And soon I'm going to probably be building a mill or a lumber camp. Yeah, I'm going to go for a lumber camp first in this instance because my berries are pretty much on top of my TC. And here it is, I forget to build... Oh no, sorry. I did build the house with the dock villager. So I've got six fishing ships now, queuing up the 7th one. And I can see that there are houses right next to my dock, which means that the blue dock is probably right next to me. So I've already decided in this game I'm not going to be playing water, so I'm going to go to the south and just try and build another dock so I get a bit more efficient fishing income to help get myself to Castle Age. Now, I am going for the 7th fishing ship, but that's probably going to be the last one that I make. I think I do have the wood to be able to make another one. And I've also, I've delayed my uptime here, so I could have clicked up, but I decided to queue up an extra villager so I can go up a 22 population. Now, in my practice, when I've been doing the Inca sort of eagle play, I've been doing a 21 plus 2 or a 22. I think a 22 plus 2 is a good castle time. Because that means that you can get up before 17 minutes and start getting the eagles out very quickly. And if you're like, I think I've only ever pulled off that I can remember a pre 17 minute castle age time on Nomad once in my recorded games that I posted, which was with Dravidians. I think I got a 16:45 uptime. I think it's very rare that you'll see players get up to Castle Age under 17 minutes. Like, I really can't remember the last time I had an opponent that did it, and I don't think anyone else in my group has ever gotten a pre 16 minute Castle Age time on Nomad. I've definitely seen Gerald get 17 minutes, like low 17 minutes, but I've never seen him get up before that. And so in this game, mark time, I didn't even notice what my uptime was, but I get an exceptional castle age uptime, which I think really helps my position against the Spanish player. So I'm up to feudal, queuing up 2 villages, and I'm going to start getting up the market. I don't quite have the wood for the blacksmith, and I'm going to start getting that up now. So I think I ended up going up with loom as well too. The blacksmith is not going to be built in time. So yeah, queuing up loom. And here I'm just a little bit concerned about having enough food. So I'm getting lots of villagers onto sheep under the TC to just try and get that extra food in. So I can get up to castle age. Haven't gone for any eco upgrades. I've gone for the second dock. Just need to fix my fish here and send the fishing ships to a new deep fish. Here we go. There we go. I've got enough food, and I click up to castle age with no TC idle time. If I looked in capture age, it'd probably be less than 10 seconds. Even probably less than 5 seconds. So now I'm going to get up a barracks, and because of my click up time, my castle age time is going to be under 17 minutes, which I didn't realise when I was playing the game because I was quite focused on what I was doing. Here my eco balance is a bit off, so to constantly spam eagles out of 4 barracks, you need 13 on food, assuming farmers, and you need, no, I think it's 12 on food and 13 on gold with the gold mining upgrade. So I knew that I wanted to get some eco upgrades in here, but I don't have many villagers on wood at the moment, so I'm going to be a little bit slow to be getting up multiple production buildings. So my aim in this strategy is I want to go forward on the Spanish player as fast as I can and try and zone him out of resources that are under his TC. Particularly the thing that I'm most interested in is I want to take him off stone. Now, it's possible that the Spanish player has TC'd on a stone pile, and if that's the case, there's nothing I can really do about it. I can dive under the TC, but if he hasn't TC'd on stone, I've got a good chance at denying the castle, or at least delaying it for a very long time. So here again, I think I've got to try and find a new deep fish. Getting the +1 armor for the eagles, getting in the gold mining upgrade early. I've got in double bid axe and horse collar. And I'm just looking at where I'm vulnerable. So I'm just going to do a quick little pause and take the view lock off for a second. So I saw that there was a little hole up here where potentially conquistadors could come through and go through the trees. So I built a house there. Now they could potentially go around here if they were going to come around and harass my eco. And then I'm going to build an outpost here. So if the guy just, like say he's got conquistadors coming and he clicks my base, they're going to come this way. So the outpost is going to spot him. So I've got a couple of outposts queued here. And the other thing I'm concerned about, so castle age time was actually 16:38. I think that's possibly the fastest castle age time I've ever done in ranked Nomad team game before. So these outposts are just in case conquistadors come, and also just in case the Spanish player tries to come forward with a castle drop. So I'm just going to go back to my view lock for a second. So I'm just, so now blue has gone on to, he's going water and he's taking out my fishing eco. So yes, that means I'm going to have a bit less food income for this strategy, but I'm not too concerned about it because I'm not going to be focusing on water in this game, and I've got enough food in the bank. Can just make some farms, that's fine. So I found green stone, killed a villager with an eagle, killed another villager, and then he's decided to go back once another eagle has come up. So that means I can save this eagle and ideally heal him with a monk a bit later in the game. So now I'm getting in squires and forging, and I'm going to get a third villager kill here if I'm lucky. So that's already three villas down from the Spanish player who's still in feudal age. And I have denied his stone. So I'm looking very good here to have already prevented getting castle drop with conks. And I am sort of walking around his base here to try and find what other resources that I can zone him off. Now this woman squealing thing is a mod that I've added in because there is actually different sounds for military and economy under attack. They sound very similar. So I've added in a mod that is a woman screaming, and that means that either a villager or a building is under attack. So it gets my attention. Like, it might be annoying in this replay, but it gets my attention when I hear it. So it means I'll instantly look to see what's happening. But because I know it's just my water eco, which I don't care about, I'm not looking at it. So that's something I found has been actually quite helpful. I've only used it for a few games so far, but yeah, I like it so far. So yeah, apologies. I probably should have turned that off for the recording, but I forgot that I did that. So I'm walking around his eco, and I've discovered that he's made a mill and he's got some farms, and I'm just going to try and block this villager and get a 4th villager kill. So now I've zoned him off a few farms. I'm sitting on his stone. I'm also bringing in this boar, and I'm going to try and micro this villager back without the villager getting killed. Just focusing on getting some farms down, and then adding extra villagers to gold. Getting in Bowsaw now as well. And I want to be... Do I have 2 barracks at the moment? Yeah, I do. So I've got 2 barracks. Ideally, I'd have 3 or 4 sort of in the next few minutes. Again, apologies about the woman sound. And now just walking around Green's base just to see what he's got. He's up to Castle Age now, and I've spotted that he's gone double stable. So he's going to be making some knights to try and push me back. And now the knights have come out. I've got some eagles around. I'm just going to try and get this villager kill if I can. There we go. Got that villager kill. And now I'm going to retreat because eagles do not trade very well against knights. So knights are technically an eagle counter. Knights cost 135 resources, 60 food and 75 gold. Eagles with Incas cost 68. So you could roughly say that for the same resources, you can make 2 eagles to 1 knight. But I think 1 knight beats two eagles. So here it's 4 knights and I've got 6 eagles and then 3 more in reserve. So that's going to be an okay fight, but a lot of my eagles are weak. A little bit of a muck up on the micro there, just killing that villager. So now I'm going to run because ideally I don't want to take this fight. I'm rushing up a monastery with 2 villagers, but I don't have the gold to get a monk out at this point. So I'm going to have to take the fight and try and push the knights back and just hope for the best. But the green player really should have taken that fight. But instead, he's gone back, possibly because he doesn't understand. He might have been waiting for his reinforcements. So we go. So this is not a really good trade for me, and I'm going to lose that battle pretty easily. So I'm going to run back here and wait for some reinforcements. I will be having a monk coming out soon. So again, green probably shouldn't have gone back there. So he should have probably continued to take that fight, but I think maybe he'd spotted my monastery and he's worried about losing knights to conversion. So I was a little bit lucky there, and this eagle rush hasn't been as effective as I was hoping at this point because green, as soon as he got knights out, he's pushed me back. So I know now that I need monks and I need pikes if I want to be pushing forward. So I'm just going to use this monk here to heal up my weak eagles, and I'm going to start walling up because I don't want the knights to be diving my eco. So my outpost has gone down. I've got a villager palisade walling there. And I'm just concerned that the knights are going to run through. Just getting those boar villagers back onto wood. And the knights, they could have run through there because I didn't micro my villager, but the green player was just a little bit slow. So again, you're hearing that screaming because he's attacking my palisade wall, but now I've got the opportunity to take a good fight. I've got quite a few eagles. Pikeman upgrades just come in, and I've got 1 monk. So I'm going to go for a conversion. And I get one. A pretty short conversion time, so that's 1 knight down. I took 1 down with the pikeman. I've gotten housed here. But I think it was a bit more important to focus on the micro. Getting in town watch, and I have to rush up some houses now. So I'm staying 1 TC, and I can see by the score that the Spanish player has the lowest score in the game on 1963. So that means that the damage that I've done to his eco has been good so far, and that's something that Spanish have one of the best late game civs, particularly on Nomad, and if you can keep the Spanish player from getting a good economy, I think that's a win. Definitely something that I'm definitely achieving what I was hoping to achieve here. So I can see that he's back on stone. I've got enough eagles to push him off and potentially get some villager kills here. My monk's faith has regenerated, so I'm going to be able to get another conversion, and I've got pikes as well, so I should easily win this fight. There we go, I've converted another knight, also another fast conversion. I'm going to get potentially a couple of villager kills here. I've just microed my units back, so I think I didn't end up going for those kills. And because I've seen, so this is the second TC for the Spanish player. I'm just going to take the view lock off for a second. So he's gone for a second town center. So that also means he's potentially gone for a 3rd one. So he's trying to go into a bit more of an economic approach. Now, I'm not going to have the stone for a castle for a while. But what I can do is I can build a siege workshop and press that with siege. And I'm also going to continue to make monks, because if he's going to keep making knights, I'm going to be able to get more conversions. And the other thing my monk can do is heal up my weak units, which is really helpful here. So now blue has sent a knight over to help out green, because he's probably detected that green is under a bit of pressure from me. I'm just going to get... So I've got a lot of vision here, which is nice. I guess one concern is units coming up here, but I do have a little bit of vision from the outpost, so I can sort of see if anything runs that way. And I've got a house here, so I'm getting a palisade wall up, and I'm going to wall up because I was worrying about the... see if green was going to send knights around that way into my eco. That's where I'm vulnerable from. So I'm just sending that one villager to palisade wall. I'm getting out a mangonel. Still queuing up monks, still queuing up a few eagles. Ideally by now I should have put a few more farms up, and I am floating a little bit of gold. So here comes green again for another engagement. He's got 3 monks, but eagles counter monks, so I'm not worried about that at all. My monks are a little bit out of position though, so unfortunately I'm probably not going to get any conversions, but I'm wiping him in this battle. He really shouldn't have engaged in that one. He's lost everything. So again, because I've got monks, I'm going to be able to heal up all of my weak units to get lots of value out of them. And I've made a shift queuing mistake here with the walling, so I'm just going to send another villager to the wall. Now Croker's on water at the moment, and you can just see on the top of the screen that he's got fire ships out, and he's going to go and try and take out some of green's eco. I'm just going to have a little bit of a look and see what's happening, because I'm doing a siege push on green here. See what else is happening in the game. So we've got teal with Latus out with +2 attack, possibly from a few relics. Croker's got a defensive castle up, and Matt is starting to make Rattan Archers to support him from the pocket. Matt is also raiding with a group of Rattan Archers. So Matt likes to do this with Vietnamese and Mines or Spanish. He goes Plumed Archers or Rattan Archers and sort of walks around with a small group trying to get some villager kills, and when he's playing Knight Civs, he just goes with a few Knights. So getting a couple of villager kills there. Going to go back to my point of view. So I've almost taken down this TC. Kill that villager, and I can see that a castle is going up. So I've delayed it. I've managed to delay the castle until after 30 minutes, which I think is pretty good. So I'm still only on 1 TC, so at this point I've got enough wood to start making multiple town centers. I'm floating wood and gold at the moment, so I really need to start making more farms. I need to get wheelbarrow, and I need to start making some TCs, but I also want to get a castle up as well, because I want to secure this forward position that I've got. So I've got 2 TCs up, and I'm starting to throw down some farms, getting the 3rd one up, and then my priority after that will be to get a castle going. I'm being a little bit passive here, but I'm going to go forward with my eagles for a raid. I'm just going to try and find the best angle to go for. So I can either go to the south of the castle or to the north of green's other buildings. Getting an arson now as well for some extra building damage on my melee units, because generally when I play Incas on Nomad, I primarily just go infantry, if not only infantry, but sometimes I do have to mix in some skirmishers or slingers. I don't tend to play archers with Incas. I haven't had to do that at all on Nomad, I don't think, even though they do have fully upgraded arbalest. Perhaps a game will come up in the future when that makes sense. Getting in wheelbarrow now, I'm getting in some extra infantry, and I'm going to start throwing down some extra farms. At this stage, I have quite a high military count, so if we look at the population, I've got 50 military compared to the next highest, which is Matt with 30. It's probably mostly Rattan Archers, and then the highest in the other team is Blue at the moment with 19, but obviously Teal has lost a lot of his units. Now, I've gone... How many monks do I have there? So, because he's going conquistadors and knights, monks are super effective against that. So I have 8 monks. Now, he does not at any point want to engage me if I'm ready, because I'm going to get heaps of conversions. So I'm getting housed again here. I'm going to have to throw up some houses. I'm just trying to find an angle to attack with my 30 eagles. So that's a lot of Eagle Warriors. I ideally should have the Iron Casting upgrade in. So, yep, I found the 3rd town centre. I'm going to go for a raid. So at this point, green has 56 vills. Diving his TC, I'm idling his production. And I'm going to get some conquistador kills as well. He's got a bunch of knights here. I'm probably going to lose all of these eagles, but if I can keep the Spanish player from booming, I'm happy with that trade. This is also buying me time to get the castle up. I'll stop making eagles at this point. I'm just going to have to... Gives me a little bit of time to fix my eco. I'm losing most of my units. The knights are probably going to kill most of them, but how many villages has he gotten down to now? Let's have a look. Sorry, wrong thing. 44. So I don't know. I've killed 15 villagers or so with that eagle rush, and I've killed a lot of conks, and I've bought myself a lot of time to get the castle up as well. And now I'm going to start making... Actually, I've got the res for Imperial Age, so yep, I'm going to click Imperial. And as you can see, Blue's already in him, so he's technically the pocket for the other team. Haven't really seen too much of him at the moment, but I guess Matt has been running around in his eco. So here, I convert a couple of conquistadors. I possibly converted a knight as well. Yep, I definitely got one. And how many monks have I got left alive? 5. So I lost 3 of the monks. So I wasn't quite ready for that fight, but he lost pretty much everything. And it wasn't too much trouble for me to deflect that attack. The conquistador numbers have been very low, and at no point have the conquistadors been able to raid any eco in this game. I guess they could have probably tried to. There is technically a space to go here and here, but there are castles. So I guess it's open here. But yeah, the Spanish players I've boxed him into defending his front, because if his conquistadors aren't there, I can probably just run into his eco. So now I'm queuing up a battering ram, getting the second gold mining upgrade, so the gold shaft mining upgrade, and I just got the stone mining upgrade. I've got a second castle up in the same spot because I want to focus on taking down that Spanish player's castle. The ram is actually for the houses because Teal's dock was up there and he has built a lot of houses, so I'll just patrol that ram into the houses to slowly work those down. While I'm going up to Imp, I'm getting an iron casting now. I'm just going to have a look at what's going on the other side. So Croker has a huge army of pikes. There's like 40 pikes there. The Lithuanian player's in Imp. He's got a double castle here, going for a triple castle in the same spot. Currently got 12 military. And he has got +4 on his latest at the moment. He's also got trebuchets out. They currently have 2 players in Imperial Age. I am the first player from our team to arrive to Imperial Age. And the boys are doing a great job at holding on that side. But again, I think Blue is probably a little bit slow to the party. He's been in Imp for a while and I haven't really seen any sort of push from him at this stage. So I think ideally, you know, he'd be doing something by now. So the calm before the storm here. I've had a little bit of trouble with the gold income, so I've only managed to get out 1 trebuchet. And I'm going to need to start sending some more villagers to gold because I really need more. Yeah, so I've just added another 10 or so villagers to gold. Getting out the second trebuchet, getting +4 armor and conscription. I've still got the 3 barracks spamming up. I'm going into the eagles again after making lots of pikes because the eagles are going to be good for raiding the economy. And I'm also getting Bodkin Arrow, possibly I think for the castles, just for a bit of extra range. Sending the eagles in to disrupt the eco. And I'm going to look at getting halberdier for my pikes. And probably later on some upgrades for the eagles as well. So there's quite a lot of conks there. And because of there's still a couple of extra conks, I've queued up some more monks and I've queued up block printing. Got a few trebs. The Spanish player's castle is now down. You can see just off screen there a university going up, so Teal still has his dock villager to the north. You can see my ram working away on the houses. Getting in halberdier now. I'm just going to start working on taking out the Spanish players' TCs and castles. So seeing his conks board, I've got a couple of monks there. 1 conversion. Now Blue showed up with some rattan archers. Upgrades on these. You lock up for a second. He hasn't got the final armor, he hasn't got elite yet, so that's no problem. My eagles should take those out. Still gonna get in a couple more monks, still picking up some villagers. Still got my mangonel sitting there. Now I can see that Blue is moving forward. If I look off screen, I didn't notice it yet, but here he is. He's got a whole bunch of trebuchets coming up the guts, and he has got a bunch of rattan archers here as well. So I think Matt was just starting to combat. Over here, there is a battle going on. We have elite latest with +6 attack, full upgrades, but there's lots of halbs and rattan archers there, so that's fine. And that is the first, that scream means my treb is being, sorry, my castle is being trebbed down. So now I'm starting to queue up a lot more eagles. I've gone into elite skirmisher because I think I might need that. I've also accidentally queued up crossbow as well. And I'm queuing up imperial skirmisher as well because I might need skirmishers to combat the rat archers. One thing that I forgot is the fabric shields upgrade at the castle. I completely forgot about that this game. Ideally, I would have elite eagle warrior with plus 10 pierce armor with fabric shields to go against those rat archers, but I hadn't played Incas in a little while, and I forgot about that upgrade. So here I'm not making the most efficient approach. I'm just massing eagles because Matt is going to come back and help me deal with this push. So got the Imperial Skirmisher upgrade. I'm getting in Blast Furnace. I've still got the 3 barracks eagles coming in, getting Elite Eagle Warrior. And I'm just going to start massing units and we're going to make a play on Blue's push in a second. Meanwhile, I'm just hoping that Green doesn't have anything. I'm just going to do a little bit of micro on my units that are working on his eco. I've only left a few of them there. I'm going to bring the monks back as well, just in case I need them. And I'm going to take out that monastery. I've got the Elite Eagle in now. There are 5 trebuchets there, but he's building a castle, so ideally I would have liked to have denied that. And now he's starting to stonewall the area, and I've hit 200 pop. So I can't make any more units. I'm just going to have to fight with what I've got, and then I can just remake the units if I lose them. So Blue actually does quite a good job here. So he starts doing stone gates to block off my eagles from getting to his trebs, and it also means that his rat archers can fight in that choke point. So I'm just not really worrying about that at the moment. I know that I'm going to lose those eagles. It's not really worth microing it, and I'll just focus on doing some other things. So I'm going to bring my monks over. Going to make some extra trebuchets. Going to take down that castle. I've got a nice hill that I can shoot that down from. Start massing another lot of eagles. Matt has brought in a bunch of Imperial Skirmishers. Imperial Skirmishers do beat Rat Archers, but Rat Archers are still pretty annoying, particularly when they're elite with all upgrades. They're a very fierce post-Imperial unit. Come my monks. And I've probably got enough eagles now to do a second wave attack on that push from Blue. Haven't seen anything from the Spanish player. He looks like he's been completely disabled on 3,000 score. And I've got another 30 eagles coming in. Blue has deleted his walls and he's moved out. Probably not the best decision, and should easily take that with those eagles, I think. And I'm not even watching. Brought in a couple of trebs from the push on Green's base to one of Blue's castles, and I've seen a bunch of stables going up, so I'm going to move whatever I can over to that to try and keep those trebs alive. It's going to be probably a tall order. Starting to send Matt some food, and then yeah, the eagles have cleared up the Rattans with the help of Matt's units, and I should be able to easily stop this push with the amount of trebs that I've got, that I've brought back from the middle, also making new trebs. I'm getting some converted conquistadors and knights that I stole from Green to protect the trebs over here at the moment. He's just spamming all the light cabs to attack the trebs, and I'm just fixing up my economy. Going to build another castle. Still got a couple of pikemen just over in that area. Just going to bring them over to the trebuchet. I've still got one trebuchet alive, so I've definitely killed a lot of those units. And now I'm going to send a bunch more eagles into the middle there just to push back Blue. That treb is still going, and he's spamming like have in. He's going to kill it soon. And I'm going to build a castle there. Just going to have a quick look at the other front. So there's a lot of elite Latus around from Teal. Croker's got a lot of trebs up. He's cleared up all the castles and all the forward buildings in this area. He's doing a fantastic job. He's got bombard cannons, he's got trebs, and again, yeah, the full pike play against the Latus is working out really well. So great job from Croker in this game. And now Blue's fully tech switched into light cab, which is going to do nothing against my elite eagles. And I don't even think he's got the upgrades on those units to be able to combat Matt's skirmishers either. So here's another nice hill that I can treb his castles from. Starting to send some resources to my allies because I'm pop capped to 200. I'm starting to float heaps of res. I don't even have a university. I want to get in siege engineers for some extra damage on my trebs. Getting plus +2 armor in on the skirms. And then I've got the, I think it's another 8 monks. He calls the GG, he realised he's toast. See if we can get a couple light cap conversions. There we go. Blue resigns. Green also resigns, so I think I did an excellent job at disabling Spanish in this game, which I was quite proud of actually, because I think that's quite difficult to do as a Meso civ, except for maybe Aztecs. But then again, Spanish do have the tools to deal with Aztecs. They've got hand cannons, they've got hussars. And there we go, sending a lot of resources to Croker. Teal's still staying in the game. So he's starting to mass winged hussars and hand cannoneers, which will deal with the units that Croker's got if he's got enough hand cannoneers with him. Whereas we are starting to stream our units into... Oh, I'm just going to go for his eco here with the Eagles. Got some villagers building houses because I've been destroying his houses at the top of the map with the battering ram, so I'll kill those villagers. Going to bring the monks in as well. And just spamming pikes and halberds. I've even deleted 30 villagers, so I've got more military. So there's no way that I even need villagers in this game anymore. And just slowly bringing in the rest of my army into Teal's eco. He's not reacting at all because he's probably focused on the front. Not even garrisoning his units. It looks like Green had tried to expand to the south to get away from me. Deleting some more villages. Another 20. Get some more military on the field and spam it into Teal's eco. Also going to queue up Redemption here. I'm going to start converting his buildings. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit until Redemption comes in. Sorry about that. Treading down one of his castles. So here I've spotted a bunch of production buildings, and I'm going to convert a bunch of those with my monks. Still not resigning. There's some more villagers I can delete. No, I'm gonna. Oh, actually, Matt was commenting that there was a villager of Teal's in the top. Now, I thought it was here. However, I was looking in the wrong spot. It was actually where he was pinging over here. And yeah, I think I did have some halberdiers over there. So I do end up taking care of that at some point. I've converted 7 of his archery ranges and a siege workshop. So I think here I'm trying to find where his villager is. I've grabbed the... Yeah, there we go. I grabbed the halbs to sort that out. Still not resigning. Again, I'm not really... Oh, there we go. This is why he's still got bombard cannons and a bunch of hand cannoneers. I didn't realise that I had a whole bunch of eagles just stuck on patrol in the middle as well. So I could have been using those. So I'm just grabbing whatever I've got from the front to come and help take out the hand cannons. The halberds are just going to get wrecked, but Matt's elite skirmishers will deal with the problem. He's got a whole bunch of cap rams coming in as well. And my eagles too. See if I can get a conversion on that bombard cannon. No, so he's quit. That was the game. Yeah, so we had a lot of good luck with the TC spots. Sort of, it ended up being kind of 2 Cs, I guess, with the TC spots on both teams. That type of generation sort of, I think, favours the style that my friends play. They don't really like it to be too messy. I don't mind if it is, but a lot of the guys struggle when they get a close start to someone. I think that, yeah, that Castle Age time for me was pretty brutal, and I guess the Spanish player's starting stone spot, which I think was here somewhere, that was a bit like, so he had stone to the back, but he ended up going for the front one, and that just ruined his day, I think. The early eagles, I was able to cut him off from resources, and it just meant he couldn't go castle and conquistadors early. It's possible he was planning to do 3 TCs anyway, but yeah, I forced him into the knight play. I had a counter play ready with the pikes and monks, and then yeah, it was smooth sailing from there. So I was really happy with how I played in this game. Let's have a look at the statistics. I top scored, highest military score, so I didn't kill as many units as Teal, but again, he's playing against Byzantines, so Croker was able to pretty much just flood trash at him, and he made no progress. Destroyed 86 buildings, that was probably mostly Trebs, I only lost 4. Converted 18 units, I also had the largest army, mostly because I deleted a lot of my population at the end so I could flood stuff into Teal's eco. Didn't have anything crazy in the eco score there, so Croker ended up having the most wood, Teal with the most food, and this is an incredible, like 10,000 stone collected from Blue. I think he ended up with 9 castles. That's crazy, but again, he was very slow to push, and by the time he pushed up the guts, like we had the units. I guess he should have probably gone with Teal. Like that would have made the most sense, I think. But then I guess I would have been into his eco if he'd done that, because I would have come in through the top through Green's base. Yeah, so Castle Age time 1638. No one else. I guess the next closest was the Lithuanian player. My Imperial Age was later. It's probably about 5 to 7 minutes later than I normally would be, but that's because I focused on having a large army and disabling the Spanish player. And Croker did a very good job playing in Castle Age against an Imperial Age Lithuanians from his position. So well played to Croker and Matt defending against that early Imperial from Teal there. And again, I had the most text because I made quite a lot of tech switches. Society score Blue had a lot of castles. Matt did capture a relic. The other team had some, but I destroyed Green's monasteries, and I guess the Lithuanian player did focus on. He had at least 4 relics in his monastery and collected a lot of gold from that, but it didn't end up being enough against the Byzantines. Blue 150 villages and Teal also 144, so quite high. I kept the Spanish player down though, and quite respectable scores from economy on our side here. That's a good amount for both of those civs. And then there's the timeline. So I hope you guys enjoyed that replay, and hopefully I'll have the time to. Well, actually, hopefully I have some good games that I can make commentaries of in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you look forward to the next one.